Speaking with some of the residents, they saw the flames, they saw the resident run out, and now obviously you can see a lot of people still here on the street congregating around. Now this here would normally be the parking lot here at Len Brown's. As you can see, not today. It's filled up with water pretty quickly from the Rock River here. So the business owner here at Len Brown's is actually having people park here on the main stretch of North Shore Drive. We've seen several pelicans since we've been here, and they basically just coast along from the dam until they get about so far down the river, and then they'll fly back to the start of the dam and repeat the process over and over again. And as you can see, the river is still very much so covered with ice, but as you can also see, some certain portions of the river are uncovered, and it's pretty much flowing water.
Now officials here at the shelter say these dogs still need to adapt to being around humans before they're available for adoption.
Residents say this curve is dangerous, as when cars like the one you just saw come up over this hill, they can't see the cars in the other lane. You can see this reads 122.7 degrees. Crews have actually been called to the bridge twice this month for mental health scenarios where people were kind of near the edge of the bridge and looked like they were going to jump off. Snowfall like this can make for a great winter view. However, it presents a huge challenge to some Moline residents who can't shovel themselves. This store is on the list of one of the ones that's going to close. So what are your thoughts on that?
Like I said, I would probably cry.
Here at Handy True Value in Rock Island, you can see they have all of their salt kind of just laid out on these pallets. Now, since I've been here just about 30 minutes or so, I did an interview with one of the staff members inside, and I've seen a lot of the other staff members bringing out several pallets and a lot of these bags to people's cars. Now, even though some students may start here at Blackhawk College, many will have the opportunity to finish here at WIU's Riverfront campus.
Yeah, hey James, the roads are definitely still pretty slick out here. We are in Rock Island on 7th Avenue.
And health officials say that could mean the difference between life and death.
Well, the first day I met Trudy, she was outside in my yard. She just showed up at my house and she was doing cartwheels and skipping and jumping up and down. And I said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "Yeah, my name's Trudy. I live down the street. Do you have any kids I can play with?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And I sent my kids out.
This neighborhood is where Trudy Appleby was last seen nearly 29 years ago. Neighbors, family, and friends say Thursday's arrest is a long-awaited step towards justice.
Trudy was our neighbor, and she was best friends with my daughter, Amber. The last night she was here, I remember it like it was yesterday.
So I walked her home the night before, and we did our nightly ritual because her driveway was really long and through woods. So I'd walk her halfway down it and we'd both turn around and run the opposite directions. She'd yell to me that she made it to her house and I'd yell to her that I made it to her street. We said see each other tomorrow, and tomorrow never came.
Carlson's daughter and Trudy's childhood best friend, Amber Dunlap, says she's carried guilt for decades because on August 21st, 1996, the day Trudy went missing, the two were supposed to meet that morning, but Amber overslept.
As a child, a lot of that weight fell onto my shoulders because I thought if I had woke up to my alarm on time and called her, because we had plans that day, she'd still be here. But as an adult, I realized that it had nothing to do with me. It wasn't my fault.
Appleby's disappearance sparked years of searches, vigils, and billboards keeping her case in public view. On Wednesday, a Henry County grand jury indicted 50-year-old Jamison Albert Fisher of East Moline on 3 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of concealment of homicidal death.
This is the door that we needed to open to lead her family to the truth of where she can be found.
Prosecutors allege Fisher strangled Trudy. Her remains have not been found. 4 billion views and counting. Hashtag FinTalk is the widely popular financial literacy community built by Gen Z and millennials. Best-selling author and education leader Dr. Paris Woods says new investors are entering the financial world without understanding the risks.
It's easy to sign up for credit cards. It's easy to sign up for student loans. And young folks often don't realize the lasting repercussions of those choices.
Experts say global tensions are adding to market uncertainty. About 20% of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, meaning issues overseas can impact prices here at home. Barron's associate editor Al Root says it's hitting all Americans' wallets.
It's $1 higher gasoline. That's $400 or $500 a year for most people.
Meanwhile, Motley Fool research director Jack Caparol says for younger investors, volatility can be misleading.
So the real risk, especially for young investors, I think, isn't necessarily volatility. It's not being invested at all, or panic selling at the wrong moment.
And only about 40% of Gen Z and millennials say they feel confident investing.
That's something younger investors like Ryan Paris are experiencing firsthand.
Definitely a very volatile time, I think, just not only in the world, but also in the economy.
Woods says younger investors are eager to jump in.
Younger investors are always interested in risk. So they're not worried at all. They want to hear about all of the fancy new terms and the things that are the hottest on TikTok. And so it's important to draw distinctions between speculation, which can be exciting, and then true investing, which is long-term and secure and often boring.
With rising costs and market uncertainty, experts say the key right now is sticking to the basics, building a budget, staying consistent, and focusing on long-term goals.
Hey, good morning, Quad Cities. I'm Harrisonbelsanti. It is currently 8:56 on your Wednesday morning. Here's what's making headlines. The City of Davenport's Quiet Zone project begins today. This is from our reporter Jonas Evans from a little while ago, if you recall the other video that we played.
Yes,
this is a semi flipped on its side in the grass median. Both southbound lanes are currently blocked, according to our reporter on scene there, and police are now letting cars through the shoulder. This is just north of Orion. Tonight, protests growing in Minneapolis after 2 U.S. citizens were killed by ICE agents. Demonstrators staging sit-ins at Target stores demanding accountability. Tonight, outrage growing as new details emerge from the millions of newly released Justice Department records on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Amongst the thousands of photos, these never-before-seen images of former Prince Andrew, who was stripped of his royal titles last year over his relationship with Epstein, now seen here, crouched over a young woman, her face redacted. When I actually called a little while ago, one of the representatives on the phone was able to tell me they do have 12 poles down north of their substation in Rock Island County. They're working to get that fixed, but like you said, there's no official word on if that was storm related or not. And like we mentioned, Spirit transformed air travel. It got its start in the 1980s, running vacation packages under the name Charter One Airlines. In the 90s, Charter One became Spirit when it brought jets into the fleet. It's really amazing to just see the impact that it has on, the Special Olympics athletes. You said the camaraderie, the people that come out.